everyone, and welcome to Draft Dreams, an Inside the Birds presentation profiling NFL draft prospects chasing their big dreams. I'm your host, Andrew DiCecco, and with me today is Shon Stepehens, an All-American defensive back from Ferris State University. Shon, I appreciate you carving out some time with me today out of your very busy schedule and talking with me. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I appreciate your time also.
Absolutely. Well, look, I'd rather start with the more recent information and kind of work our way back and talk about your path. Michigan State's Pro Day a couple weeks ago, you ended up being one of the names that were emerging from there due to your testing. You ran a 4.3, and then you did a number of other intriguing intriguing workouts, including your broad jump, which was a 10, I believe. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you got invited to the Michigan State workout?
So, I had a couple scouts talk to me ever since my junior year in West Liberty University, and they've been keeping up with me since my season at Fair State. They ended up seeing me at College Gridiron Showcase, and they just wanted to see me perform at a better school. So we chose Michigan State. The scouts, recommended me to go there, and that's how I ended up there, honestly.
So talk to me about it. Walk me through what that day was like for you, Shon. You getting ready? You trained for this. You're getting ready for Michigan State's Pro Day, and
Mhm.
what was going through your mind, and what was your mentality going into the workout?
Well, I got to tell you first, I trained at XPE in Fort Lauderdale. It's a pretty good facility. A lot of good players train there, and I got to give it to them. When it comes to my training, because they really had me working hard there. I worked and performed with the best, and it was honestly a blessing, like to just be there around all those dudes, that are projected to go first round and projected to go high rounds. So, when I got to the pro day, I was just, already had expectations on obviously, but I was honestly prepared, when you prepare for something and you're gonna do a good job, that's just how it works, So I went in there having high faith, and it went out well.
Was there anything that you wish you could have put out there, or were you really happy with your numbers, or what was your takeaway?
So before I had left, maybe a couple weeks before I left for Florida from XPE, they had got our 40 times on laser, and I had ran a 4.31 laser out there. So I was kind of, you know, just thinking, I don't know if the scouts were on time with everything, and I ran a 4.2 in Fort Lauderdale. So it is what it is. I'm happy with my time, but I was expecting like to go out there and run close to a 4.2. That was my plan, and I even had a couple guys after I ran my 40. A lot of Michigan State guys came up to me and were like, "Hey, bro, you just ran 4.2," and like showed me the time. And I'm thinking the scouts are gonna be like, okay. I ran 4.2, and then it wasn't. But it is what it is.
Now, do you have any other workouts on the docket where you can showcase that for too?
Oh yes, I do. I have a time currently on my Twitter where you can actually see me running a 4.2. So with hand time, we only had like three guys doing our hand time, and then this guy named Tony. He owns XPE. He does the laser, and it's all on video. It shows. So I ran between a 4.25 and a 4.27 hand time, and I ran a 4.31 laser.
Wow, you're talking about Tony Villani, right?
Tony Villani, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of guys in the past that I've talked to through the process that have gone out there, they rave about his methods and what he's able to do out there. So what's your mentality like, Shon, when you're going through that? Are you someone who needs to isolate before a workout like this, or do you listen to music? Do you get like how do you lock in?
Honestly, I try the music. I go with the music method, but honestly, this time I was just conversating with my uncle Joey and conversating with my dad, and just let him know how my training been going. And I just honestly went in there and just did it. This time I didn't use any tactic to help me, like do better or anything. I just went in there knowing that I'm going to do good because I prepared for this. So I just honestly had conversations with different guys. There's another guy from Fair State there. Had conversations with him, and we just went from there. I was expecting to do good.
Now you mentioned your uncle Joey. For those who don't know, you're the nephew of Steelers legend Joey Porter, and you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before we started talking that he has been really instrumental. You're getting ready to work out with him. Can you talk about how influential he's been to you throughout your draft journey and just in your football career in general?
He's always been gave me great advice, especially there was a time when I was struggling on setting my pride to the side to go D2, and the waiver didn't go through, so there was just a lot of ups and downs, and he was just there for me and telling me, you can go to this D2 and still perform and still make it to the NFL, and I had to really set my pride to the side around those times. So he was really there for me through those rough times, but he's always been there, hard on us in the backyard in the weight room, and it's just all he's always been motivational and inspirational. So we've always, looked up to him and in those areas for sure, especially in the NFL, football, and everything. So
Now, from the training element, how is he helping you in that regard?
he honestly, I do my own thing when it comes to training. My agents really recommended me to go train in Florida, and then I'm going on the first. I'm going to Pittsburgh, and we always lift in the weight room. He has his own weight room in the house, and we just compete. We compete. Me and Joy Porter Jr. and my other cousin Jacob and my brothers. We all just compete in the weight room and push each other. Even
Obviously,
Joy,
you
even Big Joy gets in and helps. He comes in and he lifts. We all just very competitive.
does he still have it? Does he still have the power?
He's still strong. He's still strong. It's crazy. It's crazy, but they can go in there and haven't worked out in a while and still go in there, push some weight in, push some weight up. So
Hey, Shon, so I wanted to ask you about the College Gridiron Showcase. For those who don't know, how did the invitation come about? How did you find out about it? And what was that experience like for you?
I got an email about the College Gridiron Showcase. There were a couple of agents trying to tell me they got me into it, but they all said it around the same time, so I didn't know who to believe. But obviously, it's a blessing just to get in it. So I told everyone, thank you, whoever got me into it. But it was good. It was a great opportunity. I was really shooting for Shrine Bowl and Reese's Bowl. I was talking to Eric Geico all the time, and Jim Nagy. I was talking to both of them a lot, especially after my football season. So I was kind of shooting for that, but Gridiron Showcase honestly was a good deal. I met with a couple teams there. I met with the Steelers. I met with the Eagles. I had a great conversation with both. And, any opportunity, that's put forward, I'm blessed and thankful for it. So it was honestly, it was I liked it. I liked it a lot. So
So to follow up on that, you met with the Eagles at the College Gridiron Showcase. Was there any representatives at the Michigan State one that you spoke with for the Eagles?
um, I don't think so. I remember talking to Ryan Myers specifically at the College Gridiron Showcase. We had a great conversation. He really likes me. And then I don't remember talking to anyone from the Eagles. There were so many teams come up to me afterwards. I don't remember. I remember some guys face, but I don't remember anyone from the Eagles. They were there for me though, because they're the ones who recommended me to go to Michigan State. They called Michigan State for me to get me there. So
So
they
that
were there for
obviously
sure.
that obviously shows that they were that they wanted to see you on a bigger stage and get some eyes on you. That's always a good thing, obviously. Hey, so I wanted to get into your career itself because it's a really what really stood out to me, Shon, is your ability to overcome a lot of odds and still find ways to be productive. You started out at West Liberty. I believe you had two back-to-back seasons where you had 8 interceptions. Is that correct?
Yes.
So how did you what was your path to West Liberty and what was your experience there?
So West Liberty was an hour away from Pittsburgh, and that's how I ended up going there because I was supposed to go to Penn State in 2021, and West Liberty, was a D2. They were reaching out. They reach out more than any D2 that was reaching out around the time because it was all late notice because I was committed to Penn State. Wasn't planning on going D2, so I ended up having to set my pride to the side, go to West Liberty, and I just was grinding. I had a big chip on my shoulder, and so I knew I had to do what I had to do. So regardless, it didn't matter the school at that point. I got to go put up these numbers. So I just worked really hard. I tried. I was very coachable and put myself in the best situations that I could to get interceptions and make plays. Just baiting the quarterback over and over again, and just disguising and really put myself in great predicaments.
Now, ball skills is an inherent characteristic How do you go about refining your ball skills and making sure that it's the best that it can be? Because obviously you have a knack for taking the football away.
Hmm. Um, when the ball's in the air, it's me or you. I gotta go get it because that's just how it is. Honestly, it's not a big, a big thing to it. But when the ball's in the air, it's either me and you, and I have to go get it. And I was just motivated for my first two games. I had 6 interceptions in the first two games, so that really motivated me, and like it showed me like, man, you can do this. And I was praying on it, and I wanted to be great. So I mean, I had 4 interceptions in one game, the second game. So it just showed me, like, it motivated me, showing me like I can do this. And so from there on out, I was just that's the best I've ever played as a DB. I just started putting myself in better predicaments and just playing good ball. So
Was there ever a particular moment that you can pinpoint where throughout your career where you said, okay, the NFL is a real possibility here?
I've always since a youngin, I've been playing football since fourth grade. So I've always been like motivated to go to the NFL. I've always believed in myself, had faith, and there was one time I was, struggling with that and didn't think it was going to be possible. My mom had a heart attack, and I was had to leave football to help with her. But then the spark came back up after West Liberty. Once I was performing and I ended up having 6 interceptions in those 2 games, that was the spark right there. That's what I needed, and it just showed. I had grabbed a lot of attention from those 2 games, and that really showed a lot. It meant a lot to me. So just for me being struggling and been out of football for 3 years and was able to just to come back and face adversity and put myself in a great predicament like that.
Yeah, that takes a special mindset to be able to do that. Defensive
Definitely.
backs are my favorite position to evaluate and write about and cover ultimately because they are playmakers. I think it's the hardest position to play on the field. And
Exactly.
I love the football intelligence that goes into it. And they're also a pretty chatty bunch. They're pretty chirpy. So let me ask you, Shon, are you a quiet guy on the field? Or are you somebody who, when you make a play, you'll let them know about it?
Um, I can be quiet sometimes because if I'm making plays, I'll let my game do the talking. Honestly, I don't have to do all that and humiliate you and stuff, but um, I let my game do the talking for the most part. If they're talking and they get out of hand, then I'll say something, especially if I jam them up at the line or something, and I'll do something like that. I will, talk. But it just depends. Really depends how it goes.
So, what led you to Ferris State University, and what were you deliberating between any schools? Like, what made that the choice for you?
So I went through the same. So I have to tell you this: in 2021, Penn State, the reason why I couldn't go was because I wasn't 80% towards my degree. So once I graduated from West Liberty, a lot of schools, D1 schools, reached out and they were trying to get me a waiver. So if the waiver were to be accepted for me being out of football and helping with my mom, if it were to be accepted, was going to be able to play D1 that year. So I was getting a lot of offers. I got an offer from Deion Sanders. I was talking to Oklahoma. Got offers from Purdue, Indiana, a whole bunch of D1 schools, Wisconsin, even the Razorbacks on the SEC level. But I ended up committed to Purdue because they showed a lot of love. And they respected my situation, and they were willing to give me the waiver. They were willing to put in the effort to get me the year back. So talk to the even the AD at Purdue, and I was committed there, waiting for the waiver to go through. It didn't go through. They denied it twice, and I graduated. I got my degree, so 80% towards my degree was no longer a problem. But they were saying my clock is just gone around that time, so I had to go to D2, and Ferris State was back to back, national championships. They were around the best D2 around the time. They were in a conference that's very competitive. And then the head coach had called me and would just let me know if the waiver doesn't go through that you have a home here. And they were willing to let my brother join the team also. So we joined as a package deal, and that really made me commit to Ferris.
What did you learn about yourself during your whole college career as you look back on it?
it really just showed me like the type of person that I am. I can get through a lot of stuff, especially at my worst. It just showed me how strong I am, and I honestly think I get that from my mom because she's been through way worse. She had coded around the time, and she fought through that. She bounced back from that. She bounced back from so many obstacles and almost losing her life. And wanting to give up, and she never gave up. So I'm the same way. I'm not gonna give up because this is what I have to do. To feed my family and feed myself. So like I just really helped me become a man, honestly.
The way you speak about your mom really resonates with me, Shon. I'm really close with my mom. Um, she's battled some things before, and just somebody that I hold in the highest regard. Is it safe to say that your mom's your biggest influence, your biggest I guess someone that you do it for?
Yeah, she definitely is. She definitely is. My mom has always suffered and fought with lupus, so she's always been through things, and I just want to be able to show her, like the other side of things. She hasn't seen the world, and I really want her to. She's been fighting with sickness for so long, so it's like, I'm that's why I'm grateful for the situations I'm in, because there's people like my mom, for example, that hasn't, been healthy for like a long period of time. That's always been fighting with health issues and stuff like that. So she is
Yeah,
my
no,
why.
absolutely, and that sort of I could see that as you're talking about it, and that's powerful stuff. That's powerful stuff, and that's one of the many things that I'm sure is motivating you through this process. Now, what do you feel you've improved the most upon throughout your college career that maybe you went into it and you maybe weren't as proficient in that area?
Honestly, just figuring out where everyone on the defense have to be before the ball snapped. I've learned that a lot from my coach this year, Coach Anise. He's really helped me a lot, and it just like my IQ has gotten way better my last season of football. And I was being very coachable, allowing the coach to put me in great predicaments, and like, I have to give it up to my coaches too. They put me in great positions to make plays, but just knowing where everybody's positioned on the backfield, where they're supposed to be, because that makes my job easier. So
What was the
that's
attention? What was
huh?
the attention? What was the attention like during the season? How many were teams visiting you and during the season? I imagine they were.
There were a lot of teams coming to practice, and I didn't talk to them specifically, but they were just our coaches would let us know that they're here and they're watching, and they would be watching, so we would see them obviously. But a couple scouts that came, probably majority, I seen them all at the pro day. I remember their faces.
What's one thing about your game that maybe some folks don't know about?
Um, I really think people don't know like my strength. People were really shocked about the 220 reps, and it might not look like it, but when we get on the line and I put my hands on you, you're like you can tell then, and that's what shocks people the most. I think people don't know about that. You know, that's
I
the
was
sneaky
shocked
part
about
about
that.
me.
I was one of those that were shocked when I saw the numbers, but then hearing that you're training with Joey Porter and Joey Porter Jr., it makes a lot of sense. Is there how much are you? What's your weight at right now, by the way?
I'm 176.
Okay, so looking at that body type, do you feel more comfortable playing outside, inside, or like where are you most comfortable playing?
Both. I can play both, honestly. I've been playing corner for so long, so I'm very comfortable there. I'm very comfortable on an island. I can play off or I can play press man coverage, so it really makes my job easier. But I've never played the nickel position, but I know it's for dudes my size and everything, and I think it'll be easy. So I really don't have like a specific position that I'm just locked onto. I'm really versatile.
Have any teams given you any idea of where they envision you playing at the next level?
There were a lot of teams when they were interviewing me after my pro day, like the Dolphins and the Titans and like the Commanders and like the Vikings. They were all like in front of me, asking me like, "Do you think you can play safety also, or you're just a locked on corner guy?" And they would just ask me like, "What's my favorite position? Where do you think I'll like come in and start at?" And I was telling them like I can play both positions, but I told them that I would start at on the outside, and that's just how I feel. I've always played corner, so
Shon, if you had to describe yourself in one word to a team, what would that word be?
coachable.
So as we move forward through the pre-draft process, what do the next 4 weeks look like for you?
I'm going to go to Pittsburgh and on the first, and just me and my cousin are going to, really compete and work out and just help out each other a lot throughout the rest of this time. I've already done my training, for the for my pro day and everything. Now it's just time to really. I want to get to around 180. And I just want to get very explosive and work on my DB skills now.
And how will you go about, for those who don't know, how will you go about working on your DB skills? What are some of the different specific workouts you're going to be doing to kind of accentuate that?
I'm gonna do a lot of like man coverage, like one on ones, a lot of one on ones. That really helps me. I'm gonna do a lot of like stem release drills. I don't know if you know what that is specifically. I'm gonna work on a lot of my pressing skills and my playing off the ball. Just get really deep in my bag. So
I'm sure you saw the NFL with the hip drop tackling. Obviously, that's going to
yeah,
impact you as a defensive back.
mm,
It just happened, so it happened. I don't expect you to have an answer, but how will you navigate that? Because it's tough. You're trying to tackle a tight end. I mean, it's almost impossible.
yeah. I don't know. I don't honestly. I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna tackle him. However, I tackle him, they're gonna have to accept it. If it's a flag, then I'll just figure out another way. But as of right now, I don't have like a specific way I'm gonna run and tackle this guy. Especially coming in full speed. I'm just gonna come full speed and hit him. We have to wrap up, so I don't know why they made that. I don't know why they did that. Honestly, I'm just gonna go with the flow.
If you have to compare your game to any corner currently in the game, who would that be?
I really love Tyrann Matthew. I've been watching him forever. Tyrann Matthew, and I'll go with DJ Reed.
Now, this is an Eagles podcast, so I want to ask you about Philadelphia. What do you know about the Eagles, their situation, anything that you can add to that?
I don't know too much about the Eagles. My uncle, he's an Eagles fan, and he's passed away, but he's a real Eagles fan. I know about Jalen Hurts. Obviously, I know about the receivers, AJ Brown, and you got Darius Slay on the defensive side. That's why I'll come in and have to really compete, for a spot. Darius Slay, there's another corner on the defensive side.
James Bradbury.
Okay, Bradbury. So I
Yeah.
mean, there's competition over there for sure. But that's nothing. I don't think their speed is, my speed is up there with them, and then obviously my strength is already around the same. So
Do you have any local days on the schedule, or any sort of any visits?
not currently. I think I'm gonna end up visiting with the Steelers coming soon though.
Nice. Shon, have you given any thought to what's going to be going through your mind on draft weekend and what it would mean for you to get drafted and land with the team?
It would be a blessing to get drafted, but I can't go in there thinking that I'm going to get drafted. I just UDFA or however it goes. I'm grateful to even be here and be in this situation because a couple years ago I wasn't playing football. I was out of football for 3 years. So however it goes, it goes. I'm just blessed to be in this predicament.
Absolutely. I look forward to following your success and I wish you all the best. For Shon Stevens, I'm Andrew DiCecco. This is Inside the Birds Draft Dreams, and coming to you next week, we'll have another episode and look forward to it. Thanks a lot, Shon. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.